Imagine this. The final whistle blows, the stadium erupts, and somewhere, deep inside every Arsenal fan's chest, a weight that has been carried for over 2 decades finally lifts. No more near misses, no more heartbreak, no more explaining to casual football fans why a club that once dominated English football has somehow never conquered Europe. This, right here, is the what-if video Arsenal fans have been waiting their whole lives for. Because in the 2025-2026 UEFA Champions League, something extraordinary is happening. Arsenal Football Club are not just participating, they are not just competing, they are leading. Top of the entire Champions League table. 8 wins, 0 losses, 24 points, unbeaten through every single group stage and knockout round they've faced. This is not a fairy tale. This is not a lucky run. This is a team that has been meticulously, brilliantly constructed, piece by piece, idea by idea, by a manager who refused to accept that Arsenal's ceiling was nearly men. His name is Mikel Arteta, and this might be his greatest masterpiece. In this video, we're going to explore everything. We're going to break down Arsenal's Champions League campaign, look at what makes this team so dangerous, examine the upcoming semifinal against Atletico Madrid, and then dare to ask the most exciting question in European football right now. What happens if Arsenal actually win this thing? What would it mean for the club, for the players, for the fans, for Arteta, and for English football as a whole? Buckle up, because this is going to be one hell of a ride. Let's start with the facts, because facts in this case are more impressive than any narrative I could build around them. Arsenal have played 8 Champions League matches this season. They have won all 8. They have accumulated 24 points, the maximum possible from those games. They sit at the top of the entire Champions League standings, above Bayern Munich, above PSG, above every other elite club in Europe. Let that sink in for a second. In a competition that includes the likes of Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, and Paris Saint-Germain, clubs with combined Champions League trophies that stretch into double figures, Arsenal have gone through this campaign without a single defeat. Their defensive record has been exceptional. David Raya in goal has been composed, commanding, and crucial in tight moments. The back line, anchored by William Saliba and Gabriel Magalhaes, has been one of the most formidable defensive partnerships in all of European football this season. In their most recent outing against Sporting CP, despite a scoreless draw on the night, Arsenal completely dominated the contest. 55% possession, 15 total shots, and a level of control that told you everything you need to know about the mentality of this squad. In midfield, Martin Zubimendi has been a revelation, a signing that looks like one of the shrewdest pieces of business in recent Arsenal history. Alongside Declan Rice, who continues to grow into his role as one of the most complete central midfielders in Europe, Arsenal's engine room is functioning at a level few teams can match. Going forward, the attack is electric. Noni Madueke, Eberechi Eze, Gabriel Martinelli, and the towering Victor Gyökeres, a striker who has brought a physical presence and a ruthless edge to Arsenal's attacking play that they have desperately needed for years. 8 wins, 0 losses, an unbeaten campaign. The numbers don't just suggest Arsenal are capable of going all the way, they demand that conclusion.
And now we arrive at the mountain Arsenal must climb, Atletico Madrid, the club that Diego Simeone built in his own image, cynical when needed, ferocious always, and absolutely maddening to play against. A team that eliminated Barcelona in the quarterfinals, winning their 2-legged tie 3-2 on aggregate with an away goal at the Camp Nou that silenced 90,000 people. This is not an Atletico side that will roll over. This is an Atletico side that has been here before, done this before, and knows exactly what it takes to win in the knockout stages of the biggest club competition on earth. The semifinal is split across 2 legs, the first at the Metropolitano on April 29th, the second at the Emirates on May 5th. And here is where Arsenal's strengths become most relevant. Atletico's approach is built on defensive solidity and quick transitions. They will sit deep. They will press in packs. They will try to make Arsenal impatient, force errors, and punish on the break. Sound familiar? It's the formula that has worked against bigger clubs than Arsenal for years. But here's the thing. Arteta's Arsenal is specifically built to handle this kind of challenge. The possession game Arsenal play, meticulous, patient, probing, is designed to break down low blocks. Zubimendi and Rice dictate tempo without panic. Eze and Madueke can carry the ball in tight spaces and manufacture chances from almost nothing. And with Gyökeres as a focal point, Arsenal have the ability to go direct when patience runs out. Atletico's 13 points in the group stage tells you something. They've been inconsistent. 4 wins, 3 losses, 1 draw. They are dangerous, they are not unbeatable. The probability models give Arsenal a 38.2% chance of winning in Madrid. For context, Atletico sit at 33.2%. The remainder accounts for a draw that pushes everything to the return leg. Slight Arsenal favorites, but margins in a semifinal at this level are razor thin. The key to going through? Starting with a clean sheet in Madrid. If Arsenal keep it goalless or nick one on the counter in the first leg, the Emirates becomes a fortress, and a fortress that 60,000 red and white believers will turn into a wall of noise that no away team has ever truly enjoyed walking into. Atletico are beatable. Arsenal have every tool to beat them. It starts on April 29th.
Every great Champions League run is defined not just by a system, but by individuals who rise to the moment. So let's talk about the men who could write their names into Arsenal folklore. First, Victor Gyökeres, the Swedish striker who has redefined Arsenal's attacking identity this season. Powerful, relentless, technically sharp, and carrying a goal threat that defenders across Europe have struggled to neutralize. He is the kind of center forward Arteta has been crying out for, a man who can hold the ball up, link play, and finish with both feet. In a two-legged semi-final where space will be at a premium, Gyökeres' ability to be a constant physical and psychological problem for Atletico's defense could be the decisive factor. Saka quickly and recycle possession has been central to Arsenal's unbeaten campaign. When big games come, Rice consistently raises his level. This is his kind of moment. Third, Martin Zubimendi, the Spanish midfielder signed in what looks, in hindsight, like an absolute bargain. His calmness under pressure, his ability to find the right pass in tight moments, and his defensive contribution make him the fulcrum of everything Arsenal do from deep. A player this composed on the biggest stage is invaluable. Fourth, William Saliba, the Frenchman who has quietly become one of the best center-backs in European football. Dominant in the air, composed on the ball, and almost impossible to get past in a straight duel. Saliba, alongside Gabriel, forms a defensive partnership that has simply not been cracked this season. And then there is Eberechi Eze, the creative force who arrives in a Champions League semi-final playing the best football of his career. His ability to pick a pass, drive at defenders, and create in tight spaces makes him genuinely frightening for any defensive structure. If Atletico collapse into a low block and leave small windows of space, Eze will find them. 5 different players, 5 different profiles, 5 different ways to hurt you. That is what makes this Arsenal side so difficult to plan for. You cannot stop one route and feel safe, because there are always more routes, and Arteta knows every single one of them.
Let's say it happens. Let's say Arsenal get through Atletico over 2 legs and book their ticket to Munich on May 30th. Now they face the other semifinal winner, and it's going to be either Paris Saint-Germain or Bayern Munich. Both finals would be fascinating in completely different ways. PSG have eliminated Liverpool twice in this tournament, winning both legs 2-0. They're clinical, physically imposing, and built around attacking talent that can punish any defensive lapse. Their experience in big knockout moments is significant, but here's where Arsenal's structure becomes their greatest weapon. PSG like space. They like transitions. Against a team as organized and compact as Arsenal, those transitions become harder to manufacture. In tight tactical European finals, where one goal often decides everything, Arsenal's defensive solidity and set-piece threat could be the difference. Bayern Munich eliminated Real Madrid 6-4 on aggregate and are playing some of the most exciting football in Europe right now. An Arsenal-Bayern final would be a clash of genuine quality. 2 teams that want to control the ball, both with the attacking talent to score in any moment. But again, Arsenal's record speaks. 8 games, 8 wins, no losses. They have managed every type of pressure thrown at them. With Gyökeres up front against any European defense, with Rice protecting the backline, with Saliba winning every aerial duel, with Eze creating danger from deep, Arsenal have a game plan that works against literally anyone. The win probability for any Champions League final is always close to 50-50. That's the point. That's why it's the final. But if you told me 6 months ago that Arsenal would walk into a Champions League final as the only unbeaten team in the competition with 24 points from 8 games, led by a manager who has mastered every tactical challenge thrown at him,
I wouldn't just say they can win it. I'd say they deserve to.